Yes, as you may have heard in the clip in part 3, Manohar Parrikar won the election. He won by saying he would reverse the 2011 ruling which allowed Catholic schools to teach in English. He won saying that he would make them teach in Marathi or Konkani in the Devanagari script. He won, by the way, as the BJP candidate. The BJP is a Hindu nationalist party and one of the two leading political parties in India. In winning, Parrikar became not only the chief minister, but the education minister as well. So he had the power to reverse the 2011 law that allowed Goa's Catholic schools to teach in English. And, as a politician, upon winning he immediately set up a commission to study the medium of instruction subject. We will get to Parrikar's ruling in a moment, I promise. But before telling you Parrikar's decision, just to help you understand the stakes, imagine, if you will, the Hindu Marathi side. Imagine if 32% of the people in your home country had a different religion than your national culture. And imagine if this 32% now wanted to teach their children in a language that wasn't your national language. They are asking you for government dollars. What would you think and do? Now you know how Goa's Hindus feel. Now imagine the Catholic English side. Imagine that you're a minority in your very own nation, and more of the folks with a new majority religion and language are coming in every day. And now imagine if they were trying to make you use their language in your schools. What would you think and do? Now you know how Goa's Catholics feel. And the point is not that one side is right. The culturist point is that potential problems are an inherent part of diversity. This is why India redrew its state borders. If you have two large linguistic groups in a state or nation, it is cleft. Big trouble is just a shot away. I want to tell you just a couple of other Catholic arguments before getting right to Parrikar's decision. One, I tell you, is you'll likely hear it in your own nation. Catholics say we need jobs and English is the way to the global community. Catholics say they want to be global citizens. That's why they need English. To this, Hindus react, get out. This is India. We speak Indian languages. Again, do you want your nation to have global citizens? Secondly, the Catholics say the national language is English. Remember, they say, when the North tried to impose Hindi on the whole nation, we rebelled. As we have so many different languages, only a foreign language, English, can unite us. Hindus, they say, learn English. This brings us to a scary culturist truth. If your state has two large linguistic blocks, neither language can unite you. And now for Parrikar's 2014 Medium of Instruction decision. Parrikar decided that minority schools can continue to get grants for English language primary school instructions. You can imagine this pissed off the Hindus. They were outraged for several reasons. One is that he broke his promise. He ran on the very promise that he wouldn't do this, that he'd reverse the 2011 decision allowing them to teach in English. Politicians, amazing. Another reason it outraged Hindus is that it linguistically perpetuates separatism. Remember the analogy where you would have 32% of your population having a separate religion and now a separate language? But it's even worse than that. This ruling creates a special status for minorities, special laws that only apply to them. Remember my thesis? Language teaching is always already political as an integral part of the nationhood project. Well, here we see a language instruction policy that has legally split the state in two. Of course, the Catholics were very happy with this decision, and their attitude goes to illustrate a culturist truth. Once you have a sizable minority, it becomes difficult for a democracy to check their growth. In my country, the United States, neither political party wants to talk about immigration restriction for fear of losing the sizable and growing immigrant vote. While the first ruling was done to make the Catholics happy, the second major provision was to make the Hindus happy. It says that the Hindu schools must continue to teach in Konkani or Marathi to get grants. This means that the vast majority of schools in Goa will continue to teach in the mother tongue. Parrikar held the line there. This provision again was to appease the Hindu nationalists, but it did not. I want to tell you why, and in order to do so, I have to tell you a dirty little secret. Many Hindus want their children in English language primary schools. They see it as a way to good jobs, just like the Catholics. This means that the Hindus' worst nightmare could come to pass. There could be a mass exodus to Catholic schools. And again, the Catholic schools are the only schools now that are allowed to teach in the English medium of instruction. So then, you would not only have Hindus converting to English language, they would be being taught English language by nuns. This brings us to yet another culturist truth. Culture follows power. As long as English is seen as a way to make money, it ascends as a language. While America is seen as a land of wealth, democracy is attractive. But as China rises, more in Asia are studying Mandarin as a second language. And as we in the West lose control of our borders and descend into debt, democracy becomes less attractive to other nations. But as long as English is seen as a language of opportunity, as long as we keep our western borders fairly open, Hindus will be willing to trade their Indian language education for English medium of instruction education. The reactions from Hindus have been very angry. They'll go rock on march, burn copies of Parrikar's medium of instruction ruling. In fact, they've declared war on Parrikar, saying we got elected you with this issue in 2012, we'll get you unelected over this issue in 2016. And Parrikar's medium of instruction opponents within his party have declared that they will work to make Marathi an official language of Goa. Thus, the Hindu nationalists are divided politically. The Catholics have been generally happy, but reacting to those who want Marathi as an official language of Goa, one Catholic elected official said those people need to start packing their bags and get ready to move to Maharashtra, lock, stock, and barrel. So while it's terrible that the Hindu nationalists are divided, a worse fate is that the sides are getting hard, the Hindus are getting frustrated, and the entire state of Goa is getting divided. We've heard about political reactions from Hindus and Catholics, but what about reactions from others? Some Hindu parents want a choice for their children. We read in the papers that the Catholics are happy and the Hindus are angry, but what about the children in this Hindu school? They get no choice. Are they only geopolitical pawns? On this account, the Catholics have been kind of hypocritical. They said, we want choice for all, but as soon as they got it, well, they just ignored these children. I guess these Hindu children are not so important to them after all. But the Hindus have been very consistent and more interesting. They've said, we're anti-choice. And this is a hard choice to make. Again, they could just say everybody gets a choice and they'd win a lot of votes. But as Hindu nationalists, they see 32% of their schools are being taught in a language that is foreign to their country. So they're not going to have it. They're saying, no, this is India. We will teach in Indian schools. And it's interesting because these seem like individual choices, but they have a political impact. Again, language teaching is always already political as an integral part of the nationhood project.